Okay, so this is a recording to show you guys a potential alternative way to program in App Inventor. So there are several things that we need to do. First of all, we need to decompress the AI tools zip file, and I have done that already. Let me show you where I put it. And if you haven't done that before, you kind of need to put it onto your thumb drive or some other place. So mine is located here in AI Tools. So don't click on AI Starter, because the moment you click on it, it's going to remove that file, if you're working on a machine in the lab. So instead, what you want to do is to use a command line to get to commands for App Inventor. So go to commands for App Inventor. I haven't really tried it, because I was testing, I was configuring everything on the Linux box. So what you need to do is to run emulator, to basically run the emulator independent to App Inventor. So let me just give it a try first. And it seems to work because you see this icon here. So that's good. So I'm suspecting you guys can do the same thing and get the emulator started without App Inventor. So I put it on the side when I sign into App Inventor here.
So we have to put our student ID in?
When you sign into App Inventor. So now we are into, this is the counter program. So the way to do this is not to use connect at all. Okay, so do not use any one of these options in connect. Instead, use build. So go to build and then click on the second one, which says save APK to my computer. So what this is going to do is it's going to compile the program, so to speak, and package the whole thing into an APK file, which stands for Android Packaging File. Okay, and that file is going to be downloaded. It's being done, but when it's all done, it is automatically downloaded onto the PC side into the downloads folder. So right here you can see how it is located into my downloads folder. And so now the bigger question is, how do we get this over here? Drag and drop is not going to work, so don't try that. So instead, you want to start a command line interface. The way to do it is to click on search window, which is kind of like the magnifying glass here. So click that, and then just type in CMD for the command line interface of Windows. Press the Enter key, and this is what you will see. Then you need to navigate to where the AI tools is installed. So in my case, I installed it onto the N drive. If you put it into a thumb drive, go to the thumb drive letter, and then it's going to be in AI tools. Oh, okay. Let me take a look here. Oh, I have to change to my folder first. So, and then to AI tools. And then once you get there, you want to go to commands for App Inventor. So CD, change directory to commands for App Inventor. You can use the tab key to autocomplete, so you don't have to type out the entire thing. If you just type out the first few letters of the folder and then press the tab key, it will auto-finish. So once when you get into the app commands for App Inventor folder, you should find a command called ADB, like this one over here. So you can try ADB devices first, okay? And it takes a little bit of time because it has to start a server, and you should find emulator 5554 as an attached device. So that means on the command line, I have connectivity with the emulator. Okay. So if you somehow you cannot get it to work, I can work with you later, but I do want to get it recorded first, so this way we have a way to get back and rewatch it. When you're at home, you can just watch this again to know how to do it. Okay, so at this point, the command to do the installation is called Adb Install, and you can specify a -R for reinstalling. It doesn't really hurt anything, but if you already have the app installed, the -R is necessary to replace the installed app already, the app that's already installed. And then you have to specify the path to your downloads folder. So mine is going to be in the C drive /users, and then my student ID, and then downloads, and then test.apk. So this part is kind of cumbersome because you have to type in the whole path to find that file.
You have to go into your folder or put
No, you're going to have your own.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're going to have your own. The best way to configure it is to have your browser to let you control where to save your file. So you can save your file to a very convenient place. You don't need to specify a huge long path like this. Okay? And then you press the Enter key, and it should install the app onto the emulator right away. So it would report back, stuff like this. It first has to transmit the file over, and then it will do the installation, and then it will come back with a slight error message. So don't be alarmed if it comes back and say something is not writable. But it takes a little bit of time, like that, okay? So you can see how it's reporting back an error. It says RM failed for -F, read-only file system. Don't worry, not a problem, okay? That is not a problem. Okay, so now the app is installed. You switch back to the emulator, slide the lock to the right-hand side to open it, and then click on, I cannot remember the app tray or whatever. So click on that and scroll to T because it's alphabetically sorted. And you can see test is now an installed app. So that's how you can test run your app using this particular method. It is a little bit more cumbersome, but this works universally. It will work for your phone too. If you have a phone attached by USB, this method will work as well. So you can see how my counter app is now working on the phone. But it is not technically connected to the App Inventor program. So that means if you change anything in the App Inventor program, you have to build the APK again, go to the command line, and then re-upload it. I'll show you what I mean by that. So I go back to my App Inventor part here, and let's just say that I go to the screen and I change the background color of the screen to something else. Okay, so I just changed the background color to, let's see, where's the background color? Right here. So I changed the background color to, let's try something that's not too bad. So we'll try gray, okay? So this is not going to reflect in the app right away. So I will have to go back to the build menu, go to app, save APK to my computer again. And it's going to save it with a (1), because I didn't specify, I did not configure my browser to let me specify the name to save to. And that's okay, we can work with that. And I'm just waiting for this to save the file. Okay, so I save a new file, it's test with (1) over here. It's already saved. Then what I do is I switch back to the command line, and I repeat the previous command, except it is not test.apk, it's test in (1).apk. And I think you have to specify, you have to use double quotes to quote the whole thing, because the file path includes space. So we'll give it a try and see if that works. May or may not work. Okay, it transmits the file. Now it's trying to install it. If it does install successfully, the emulator will stop the previous version from running. And I'm just waiting for the success message from the command line. Takes a little bit of time. Okay, so now if I run test again on the Android device, it should give me a gray background instead of a white background, because that was the change that I made. So that's work. So are we good so far with this? Okay, but at least it's recorded, then I can come to your workstation and show you. Yep. So I'm gonna stop the recorder because this is all I want to show you. I'm testing it and make sure that it works. Okay, so I'm gonna stop the recorder right here.